question, as you can probably see up here, is what is the hybrid cloud? I don't know if you want to start off on that.
Well, I can start off on that. The most interesting thing for me about people talking about the hybrid cloud is there's sort of two different definitions that I've seen. And in one is where you end up having something in your office, and then you connect also to the cloud, like AWS or one of the other hosted services. But really the one I find most interesting is where it's kind of a mix of three things. You have maybe a resource or two in your office, but the rest are in a data center for your custom application that doesn't perform on a commodity cloud. And then a cloud type application, AWS or otherwise. And then sometimes even people will mix in a custom cloud provider for some remaining stuff. And that to me is really where we're headed. And it's quite interesting to watch that from my perspective as a telecom provider, because what we often are doing is providing circuits to connect these things together and make sure those all play across the network, because obviously the network becomes very important. What else did you think, Josh?
I think you pretty much covered it. I see a lot of the side of things where people are taking their own traditional infrastructure, whether that's in a data center or that's actually in their offices, and then actually building that infrastructure out to a point where they have their baseline and just kind of expanding horizontally into a cloud provider. Whether that's one or multiple, they're really moving things based on what the fastest performance is and the best cost and what overall works with their model. So it's great to have John here to kind of chat about this, because really what he works with in the network side of things is really what enables all of that to become possible.
Well, I think probably the most interesting part for me about it actually is that this is what's driving all the discussion about really fast broadband. You see it sort of metastasized in the press as a thing of what people want at their house, but really it's broader than that. It's the kind of connections people want across their entire life to the internet. You see it on the wireless side with LTE. You see it with all of the gigabit discussion here in the Seattle press, which I keep getting cited on. But you also see it in everybody's business sales towards large companies. Nobody's buying T1s or DS3s anymore. Everybody's buying gigabit services, and that's the thing, because what really enables these services is to have that seamless transition where you can move your high growth or your high peak load things or your really easy to scale application to the cloud, keep your stuff that you need to have local, but have it be seamless to the users and it just works. And that's kind of the new era that we're in.
Exactly, and it's something that's growing, whether it's from the data center perspective or from the individual cloud providers. Everyone's kind of starting to realize the ecosystem that exists and figure out how the customer can be better enabled to go ahead and use what services that company focuses on. That there's no one size fits all, and there never really has been for any of the services out there, but that it's very easy for people to have a single governance solution through kind of a unified management that works with all of the different companies and providers available. So